We're live.
Yes.
So we're on. We're back again.
We're back again, by golly.
Back again.
Yeah, warm up, let a few people watch.
Mm-hmm. So how was your Thursday?
What was the day after Wednesday?
Day before Friday?
Yeah, how'd you know that? Man, that's what mine was.
Pretty good.
And if you think you're seeing things, folks, no, this is not the golden retriever.
Yep.
Stand back.
All right, we're back. And we got Mr. Toho over here.
Yeah. Golden retriever's out getting her master's degree in search and rescue stuff, and she'll probably be back next week. She'll have all sorts of stories to amaze and
Some interesting
alarm you. Yeah. I have no doubt. The golden retriever thrown in amidst about 100 some odd cops with their dogs. Now, that's got to be.
Wait, Dolores or Carrie and Dolores?
Yes. Y'all know Dolores with Apollo the Great Dane. They teamed up. So it's,
Where were they at?
Virginia.
What was the name of the thing?
Old Dominion.
Old Dominion.
It attracts hundreds of, I believe, it was close to 100, maybe a couple hundred professionals and police officers every year for one of the biggest search and rescue. They do everything from just basic tracking to pull up to finding drowned victims from a boat.
Huh.
Cadavers.
Cadaver stuff?
Yeah, and I would guess after Carrie and Dolores come back, their attendance will fall greatly next year.
We're not coming back with those two. And then what about this little cute guy? A Ridgeback puppy.
This is a Rhodesian Ridgeback. For those of you who are not familiar with the Rhodesian Ridgeback, it's an African lion hunting dog. My favorite joke in the world, but Stan won't let me tell it on YouTube. So involves a lion hunting dog actually, but it wasn't a Rhodesian Ridgeback.
That is a good one.
That was a good one,
We'll
yeah.
make it. We'll make our own video of that one.
If you get a chance, drop in tomorrow. I'll tell you.
Yeah, give us a call. He'll tell you.
Yeah. Give us a call. We'll be telling a joke all day tomorrow. So, anyway, this is how old is? I forget now. He's 16 weeks.
11 weeks.
Oh, 11 weeks. Okay. 11-week-old Rhodesian, extremely intelligent dogs. I've never had a chance to work with more than I think it's in the neighborhood of 6 to 10 of them is all I've ever had a chance to work with. I haven't done any advanced protection work with any. I did do some tracking with one that was in New Mexico, but obedience and everything. They're really intelligent dogs and
Really smart.
Yeah.
He picked up on everything really quick. He just wants to please.
so and we got him here because we're going to try to help people. All the folks would like to have their dog live with them. I'm sure live in a family, live in a house, and come home from work and find everything still in one piece, right?
So this podcast is going to fall under the category of lifestyle training.
There you go. There you go. Book coming soon, by the way. Let me start plugging.
Start plugging.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. We'll be putting up a GoFundMe account to pay for that book that's coming soon. But, lifestyle training. I'm going to show you, or I'm not going to show you. We're going to talk about some of the things that people do for training dogs to live in their house, and starting with their puppies. And I'm going to the system I use we call lifestyle training. So I'm going to explain how I would do it, and then the most important thing to me is why I would do it. Everyone knows I'm nuts about why. I don't think anyone that's an expert should be really proud if they're telling somebody something and the person say why, because that gives you an opportunity to put the psychology
Behind it.
Yeah. And it'll make that person who's learning for the first time much more efficient at getting it done. So we're going to do the hows and the whys of how to live with your puppy, all right?
How to live with your puppy.
How many puppies you got in the house? Not counting the litter.
Oh, I was going to say, I got
Russian Shepherd litter. How many dogs you live with every day?
I got 3. I got 2 pit bulls and a good old Western Shepherd, Annie Oakley. She just had a litter of puppies. If you're interested in the Western Shepherd project, reach out, let us know.
Yeah, good plug. And so, and you had Blue Dog,
Jax.
Jax. You had him before Rocco.
Yes.
Yeah. And easy to live with.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, I didn't socialize him like he was supposed to, so he's a little.
Skitsy.
Yeah, he's different. Let's just call him that. But with Rocco, I had him since 8 weeks old, and I mean, he was really easy to live with. He picked up on everything really quickly. Then Oakley, she's my newest puppy, where I knew kind of what I was supposed to be doing with a dog.
It's Western Shepherd after he spent a year or two hanging out here.
Yeah.
How was she?
I mean, she's good. I mean, she liked to figure stuff out, and then we just had to show her what the rules were. And then once she understood what the rules were, and she was like, okay, we're fair game.
Okay, and he just hit the nail on the head there. Show him what the rules are. I've never understood, dogs are a pack animal, and they want the pack to succeed because that means they're going to succeed. So there is discipline amongst dogs.
Yeah.
We have evolved into this society that believes that all dogs should be given a treat or a toy no matter what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
So, but if anyone who really wanted to get to know about dogs actually sat back and watched, for instance, one of my biggest influences on dog training was watching puppies play in a litter and see how they interact.
Yeah.
And watching how the mother dog corrects them when they do something wrong, and she corrects them. Right? Discipline. So, and I understand that the end thing right now is what we call redirection and avoidance. Don't put your dog someplace where they can possibly do something wrong. Let's just, if you're going to get a puppy, you should get steel walls from here up.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want any furniture except lawn furniture because they don't like to chew on the metal.
Yeah.
And if they do, it's not expensive to replace. It's really not. So,
You shouldn't have to change your whole lifestyle when you get a dog.
thank you. I just don't get that, I mean, it's good enough for mama dog. It ought to be good enough for you and me, right?
You would think.
Yeah, you would think.
But you gotta be smarter than the dog.
That's the beginning right there. That's the beginning. So, the way I see it is this. Your two biggies, like I said, are redirection and avoidance. So, you want your dog to, live with you and he's biting on you or something like that. Or, it's a true story. This is where I first started getting the idea. I started working with the public again as to the big thoughts that are out there.
Mm-hmm.
Lady calls me. I need help with my dog. He barks at people when they come to the door. You remember this one, yeah. So she said he just would bark and get excited and carry on, and I called a trainer and I said, so if you called a trainer, what are you calling me for? And she said, well, I said, how did it work? She said, well, great, he doesn't bark at the people at the door anymore. I said, so then why are you calling me? And she said, well, I guess the way the trainer had me teach him, what happened was the trainer said, whenever someone comes in the door and he starts barking, tell him to sit and give him a treat. I said, okay, how's that working for you? And she said, oh, as long as I got a treat in my hand when we go to the door, it's fine. I said, okay, so why are you calling me if he's not barking at people and jumping up and down on them, right? She says, well, because what he learned was anytime he wants a treat, he goes to the front door and starts barking. And he won't shut up until I bring him a treat.
The tree.
So that's what you get when you redirect.
Yeah. A smart dog.
Yeah, smart. You get a smart dog. So remember, if your dog's chewing on you, I know the number one thing is give them something else to chew. Don't give them something they like to chew, because then every time they want to play with the squeaky toy, how are they going to get their squeaky toy?
Start chewing on you.
They're going to chew on you. That's it. Simple as that. So The other thing we have is the avoidance,
Mm-hmm.
which is the next biggie. And this really goes directly to, I think, or more closely to how to get your dog to live in the house. And there's things like, people say, well, I raised my dog, he was easy to housebreak because I tied him on a leash, I tied him to me, and everywhere I went, he went. And, you're essentially giving up your day to have your dog drug around with you.
Pretty much.
Pretty much. Tell a mama dog she's got to do that to her puppy. Tell her she can't go out and go chasing gophers and squirrels because the puppy can't run that fast. In fact, just tell a mama dog she's got to have a leash. It ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
So how do all these mama dogs raise puppies that don't pee in the den? They don't jump on anybody, any of the other dogs who come to visit. They go to sleep when they're supposed to go to sleep. How does all this happen?
I've never thought about it that way. They're in the wild. They're not doing all of that stuff.
No, they're well-behaved little critters.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and I know there's a third thing that's real big. It's real big. To live with your dog properly, and this is where people are going to automatically go if you've heard all this. And remember, I'm going to tell you why. That's why I'm bringing up the wild dogs. The third thing, Stan, is exercise. You just get up in the morning before you go to work. Get up like an hour and a half, 2.5 hours early. Get up a half hour early if you got a bulldog and go jogging, go running, throw a ball. Get up 3 hours early if you got a border collie or an Australian shepherd.
6 hours if you got a mouth.
6 hours if you got a mal, and run and run and run and bring him home and he's tired. You know what? It takes a puppy about 45 minutes to sleep it off, recover, and go right at it.
Yeah.
You're going to be at work for 8 or 9, 10 hours, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here's the other thing you can do. You can put them in their crate. Put them in their crate.
Restraining.
Yeah, there's a movement afoot right now to abolish like solitary confinement because we consider that punishment. but unless it's your dog, you can put him in a little box, for 14 hours a day because it's 10 hours of work, 2 hours of commute.
They got toys, they got toys in there.
Oh, I'm sorry. They got
It's their little home.
Yes, their little home. Their toys laying there, like when you drop an egg in the morning and it just kind of sits on your floor, just kind of
Not a lot of fun.
not a lot of fun. Not a lot of fun. So, so how do you go about it? Well, I think it's real simple. First off, I don't want to avoid situations that a dog's doing wrong.
Mm-hmm.
The majority of people who come here, as you know, who say their dogs are doing separation anxiety and screaming when they walk out the door, the first question I'll ask them is what?
Did you crate him?
There you go. Did you crate him? And the answer will be,
Of course.
of course. The dog never learned to live in an environment, and it's about learning. A mama dog in a pack teaches the dog the rules of the pack. You don't poop where daddy dog sleeps. It just ain't smart. So there is a form of discipline. I like to use just simple scruffing. Just a mama dog corrects the dog, she just, there you go. Right there, Toho don't care. So you can pull that loose skin up and give it a hard pinch. Sometimes drive your thumbnail into it if they messed in the house. And, it's as close as you can get to correcting that puppy like his mama would and not get hair in your mouth.
But that doesn't hurt the dog, so they're not going to learn, right?
If you do it, no, they are going to learn because that's how mama dog initiated it or introduced them to their first form of discipline.
So correction doesn't have to be physical. Like,
No.
it doesn't have to be...
No, shouldn't be. When it's a correction that's painful, it's not a correction. A correction, the definition of a correction is something that changes a behavior. The definition of punishment is something that makes you say, ouch. So, no, you don't need physical pain, you just need you need to get their attention in a way they understand.
Yeah.
So what do we actually do about getting our dog out in the yard, out in the house? Like I said, I don't want to avoid a situation. I don't want to avoid, he can't make a mess because he's in a crate. He can't go pee in the back room because he's tied to my belt. That's just avoidance.
Yeah.
You don't learn anything from avoidance. So what we're going to do is this. I like to start pups instead of starting them in a crate, although I like to put them in a crate at night. I think every dog should be crate trained. I'm all for that.
Mm-hmm.
Too many things come up, as you know.
Yeah.
Much as you travel with Rocco and on the road with Oakley, your crate comes in handy, right?
Yeah, you need it. There's just times where they can't be out. And they need to be in a cool, chilled place, not running around. I mean, it does come in handy. Your dog should be used to being in a crate.
Right.
They shouldn't live in a crate, but they should be used to being in it.
Right. So what I like to do is with pups is I'll pick a small bathroom. You go to work, find something you can dangle from a shower curtain, a little something with a spring or a little rubber band on it they can grab it and play with. Put them in there, and this all goes to housebreaking. That's another story I won't get into. But find a utility room, some little small room where they can't tear anything up, and just leave them there to play. Let them get out and about. Then let them out in the house later at night. At some point, if it's a puppy that's active, which Toho's not demonstrating for us tonight,
He's comfy.
he's coming. If it's, I don't care if they've been there an hour, they're going to get into something.
Yeah.
If they're running around your house for an hour,
An hour? 30 minutes?
30 minutes, pup's getting into something.
Mm-hmm.
So all you're going to do is you're going to teach him the rules of your pack. And the number two most important thing, name a word in your dog's life after their name should be
The word no.
the word no. Simple as that.
Or nine, or fooey, or they need
Yeah.
to know some
Whatever you're going to
stop
do.
doing what you're doing, come here.
Right. And so, there's a lot of people that don't really get it. We're teaching our dogs English because their mama raised them speaking Doggish.
Yeah.
We're speaking Danish or Spanish or some other kind of ish,
Yep.
right? So how do you learn a different language, especially when you're not that vocal? Dogs don't have a lot of big vocabulary, but they're keen to watch. So the best way to do it is to show them some form or some way that they'll understand this is right, this is wrong. So you're going to say the word no. You just walk to the back of the house and you discover that your perfectly housebroken dog you thought had been sneaking in the back room and pooping under the kid's bed, right? So you bring him back to the scene of the crime, and I know, you can't correct him after the fact.
Yeah.
It's counterproductive. It's terrible. It just doesn't, they can't get it. We'll go into that here before we end. So you go to him, you take him to the scene of the crime, you do just like his mama dog would do. Oh, because she growls before she pins him.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of growling, you're going to say no firmly, scruff the heck out of him. That's marking the behavior. That's not actually, it's not a correction because it's not changing the behavior.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not punishment because it's not any ouch involved. So that thing's sliding down here.
Yep.
Bloody.
It's about to come off.
About to come off.
We gotta do some remodeling, folks.
We're remodeling still. So you correct your dog in a manner that he understands, which scruffing is something he'll understand. Then you put him outside somewhere, solitude for 15 minutes. That's the punishment. But you can't punish and call it correction.
Yeah.
The correction is marking the behavior. This was a bad action. You know that because you heard the word no, and it was followed by this physical consequence. After 3 or 4 no's, followed by the physical consequence, the word no becomes as powerful as the physical consequence. Like Russian scientist Pavlov, feeding his dog and ringing a bell, the dog would salivate if he didn't put the food down immediately. And then eventually he could ring the bell and the dog would salivate.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing's going to happen when you correct your dog, but you put the word no in front of your physical correction. And there needs to be a physical correction because that lets the dog know that just made daddy unhappy, and making daddy unhappy makes me uncomfortable. Simple as that. So there's your basic rule for anything you want to do. Now, let's discuss after the fact.
And then I got a question for you.
Well, question me first.
All right. So the question is, a dog likes to counter surf.
Mm-hmm.
So what would you do about that? If you're leaving them in the house alone, they're not chewing up on anything, but they like to get on counters. What's a way to fix that?
Okay, here's. Thank you, sir. It's my favorite. One of my favorites. This is very, very old-fashioned. So, if you're a card-carrying member of PETA or the Humane Society of the United States, you might want to turn your
Log off, log off.
log off, log off, log off. So, all right. So you got a counter server.
Mm-hmm.
I know of 2 dogs that this has failed on over many decades. Go to your local hardware store. Go to the mousetrap section.
Mm-hmm.
Get all the little bitty cheap mouse traps you can get, 15 cents.
Yeah.
Right. Then, kind of get an idea of how big a area your counter is, and say you've got 10 of them, and you put 5 down this side and 5 down this side. Before you go to work, you set all 5 of those. You move them back about 4 or 5 inches, depending on the size of your dog, from the edge of the counter.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get something that smells really good, and you got like this. Put whatever smells really good right there.
Mm-hmm.
Dogs never eat anything or go for food until they smell it first. Always.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So, your dog, you're going to be off at work, and he's going to go into the same old habits that you probably let him develop. And so that means that, 9:45, time for a snack. Let me head into the old kitchen and see what's on the counter that they didn't put up this morning, right?
Yep.
So he wanders into the kitchen, and he kind of gets a whiff of something, and he goes, "Yep,
Got it.
snack time!" And he jumps right up, because they always put your front feet up first, and his front foot hits the mouse trap, and it goes pop, and lands on another mouse trap, which goes pop, 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 and he's going, "Holy moly!" And he's probably under the couch at this point, deciding he's not really hungry after all.
Yeah.
So, again, I don't want to tell again the folks from PETA, but in real life, there is discipline and there is consequences, folks. I'm sorry, and dogs don't expect to get a trophy for showing up.
They don't like 8th place trophies.
Yeah. So for all you kids sports aficionados, you might remember this for them too, by golly.
Yeah, that's another topic.
Stan's favorite topic.
Yeah.
So let's look at the after the fact training, right? Can you correct a dog? And a lot of you that are watching this right now have heard me mention this before. I feel sincerely that I can correct a dog a day or 2 after he does something. He pooped in the corner back in the back room, and I didn't find it till the next day. I will correct that dog, and he will know what that means.
Why?
Why? I'll tell you what. I ain't gonna just explain this. You know what I've never done, Stan?
What's that?
In my life? I've done a lot of things.
Okay. Yeah.
Not a bunch.
Bull riding, alligators.
Alligators, yep. Alligators, yep. You know what I have never done? I don't think. You've done it here. I have never done it. An internet challenge.
Okay.
I've never done an internet challenge.
I believe that the internet's new in your world.
It's new, brand new in my world, yeah. On my computer, 7 days now?
Yep.
Something like that. So we're gonna do, in fact, we're gonna do this cowboy stuff.
Let's do it cowboy style.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. We ain't just gonna say, go to see how high you can bounce a basketball, and then I will turn and then challenge your friend and challenge your friend. No, we're gonna do it. Well, I'm not gonna challenge everybody.
Yeah.
I'm gonna challenge everybody, but we're gonna make it worth your while.
Okay.
Okay? Say in rodeo, you pays your fees, you takes your chances.
I like that one.
Like, okay. So, for all of you firm believers, you cannot correct a dog after he's committed the crime. Here's my offer. Challenge. I will put $1,000 up.
Ooh.
Anyone who wants to take my challenge puts up $100.
I got $100.
loser forfeits their money, of course.
Okay.
We pick an audience of impartial people. How we pick them, we will work out with whoever wants to challenge them. And each of us will get 15, let's say 15 minutes. We can dicker with the times to explain why that side says you cannot punish a dog or correct a dog after the fact, or it's counterproductive to correct a dog after the fact. You get 10 minutes, then I will say you can punish a dog after the fact, and I will get 10 minutes to explain that all-important word, why. And then the person on the other side gets 5 minutes to rebut what I said, whilst I take 5 minutes to rebut what they said. And at the end, and we pick the audience, they can vote.
Yeah.
And whoever gets the most votes takes the other guy's money.
Let's make it happen.
Folks, if you know someone who's, really into dogs and they know that you can't correct a dog after the fact, and they haven't heard me tell them why you can, well,
Yeah, they'll be on your side.
yeah, they'll be on my side anyway. So if you know someone who really believes that, please spread the word. Go tell everybody you know that's a dog trainer right now. Go to your local pet stores. Tell the trainer there. Get on the internet. Go to all up and down those and put a comment on, hey, we got this smart guy that thinks he knows something, because even at $100 a pop, and I'm gonna win,
Yeah.
hey, 15, 20, $100 deals, and hey, I'm in New Orleans for the next 3 weeks.
Eat some boudin.
Eating some boudin, jumping down that crawfish etouffee. So there's the challenge, and I'm serious about that.
Hey, let's make it happen.
So if you know someone,
Tag them.
tag them, pass this off to them.
Let them know.
You got a chance to prove their point.
And I think with that being said, if you ain't having fun,
You ain't training dogs.
yeah, see you guys.